Our next stop in Cambodia was Kep. This is a quiet little seaside town known for its fresh crab, ocean breezes, and laid-back vibes. We stayed at the Atmaland Resort, the star of which were the beautiful grounds and the close proximity to Kep National Park. After settling in, we hopped in a tuk-tuk and headed straight out for some lunch. Our first stop was the Holy Crab, where we even spotted some fishermen wading waist deep just off the patio, likely checking their traps. We feasted on local crab and got our first taste of the incredible Kampot pepper dipping sauce with our grilled squid, but more on that later. After lunch, we wandered over to the crab market, checking out other restaurants, strolling past the bustling fish stalls, and then making our way down to the water's edge. From there, we took in the view back towards those beautiful tree-covered mountains rising behind Kep, such a perfect little coastal backdrop. Next, we headed back to our resort and did what Kep does best. Absolutely nothing. We spent the afternoon relaxing, wandering through the beautiful gardens, and cooling off in the gorgeous pool until sunset. Not a bad way to spend the day. We're heading out to hike through the Kep National Forest today. And it's really close to where our hotel is, so we can just walk right to the entrance from there.
It's got an 8-kilometer loop if we go all the way around, but let's see how that goes for a while.
It's pretty nice right now, but it has definitely been hot and humid, so we'll see how long we can last.
Yeah.
The park was less than a 10-minute walk from our hotel. It was just $1 per person to enter, and we were immediately rewarded with some monkey sightings and some seriously beautiful scenery. We hiked up to the tower viewpoint, climbed to the top, and retreated to some spectacular panoramic views stretching out over the countryside and the coast. We headed back down and made our way to the Led Zepp Cafe, which offered some pretty incredible views and picture-worthy spots in its own right, but with the added bonus of ice-cold drinks. Hard to beat that combo after a hot hike. We shared the road with some curious and very cute cows on our way back to the hotel. That night, we headed back to town to the Magic Crab for round 2 of delicious local seafood and beautiful sunsets. Because when in Kep, more crab is always the right answer. We made the 30-minute hop from Kep to Kampot. We stayed at the charming Old Cinema Hotel, where a welcome drink set the tone for our stay. The hotel is a stylish boutique spot with a mix of retro flair and modern comfort right in the heart of town. The rooms were small but comfortable, and we absolutely loved the pool area and the incredibly warm and friendly staff. Breakfast was included each morning and was huge and delicious. We loved the food so much here that we ended up enjoying several more meals. Everything was creative, flavorful, and totally memorable. I can almost never find decaffeinated coffee anywhere when we're traveling, and this hotel that we're staying at actually has decaf coffee, so I am enjoying as many decaf iced Americanos as I can get in while we're here because I've been coveting them every time Troy orders them. It's like the perfect hot afternoon drink, and so cheers with my decaf Americano. As the sun began to set, we took a stroll along the riverside, soaking in the breeze and the charm of Kampot. Our walk ended at Rikki Tikki Tavi, a laid-back riverside bar and cafe with colorful decor, relaxed vibes, and a balcony that's perfect for watching the sunset over the river. And the 2-for-1 happy hour was a nice bonus. From the balcony, we had a blast people watching and keeping score of how many folks could squeeze onto a single scooter. 5 was the record. It was absolutely amazing to watch. Afterwards, we continued walking along the river as the light turned everything pink and gold. We spotted the giant seahorse sculpture and found the area lively with families and vendors. Maybe it was the weekend, or maybe folks were still celebrating the Chinese New Year. The centerpiece of Kampot's main square is a giant durian, and our hotel will literally fine you $100 just for bringing one inside because, well, the smell is that intense. So naturally, we were immediately intrigued. Since we've been in Southeast Asia, we've been seeing durian everywhere, which is a fruit. And apparently it smells terrible, but people think it tastes great. So unfortunately it's not durian season, so we're still trying, but I don't know if we're gonna get fresh durian. But we did find durian ice cream. Somebody recommended that we should start with that, so here we go. I'm gonna give it a try. It's good. It's not too sweet, but it does have just like a little undercurrent of something more savory, I guess. So it's interesting. I'm definitely happy to eat it, but I guess I can get a little hint of what the full flavor of the fruit might be.
That's interesting. It is not like, oh, that's really good, but it doesn't smell at all. Yeah, I guess it was okay, but I probably wouldn't order it myself. I'll go for the Oreo or the chocolate. Today is our first full day in Kampot, and we're gonna go do a tour. We're on a tuk-tuk right now for half the day. Going to be going to a pepper plantation, secret, and we're going to go check out the cave.
Let's go. From the giant durian in Kampot Square, we made our way through town and into the countryside, stopping first at the Temple Cave, tucked behind some local farms. We climbed the steep stairs, and after taking in some beautiful views, we climbed down into the limestone cave. Once in the cave, our guide pointed out some natural formations resembling an elephant and a cow's head. Once inside, we discovered a small shrine, which he told us is even older than Angkor Wat. As we headed to our next stop, we passed some burning. Technically illegal, but common in Southeast Asia's dry season, and one of the reasons for the persistent haze in the air. Next, we made a quick stop at Secret Lake, which is not so much of a secret as a hidden gem, tucked away from the main roads and used mainly by locals for farming and recreation, a peaceful oasis in the heart of Kampot. From there, we continued on to La Plantation, a charming riverside estate where pepper and tropical fruits have been grown for generations. The estate showcases traditional Khmer farming techniques alongside beautiful gardens, making it a serene stop to explore both history and nature. After exploring the beautiful tropical gardens, we cooled off with a drink at the cafe and soaked in the sweeping countryside views. Not a bad way to take a break before embarking on our tour. The tours are free and occur every hour on the hour. The tour kicked off with our guide sharing the story behind La Plantation, a family-run Kampot pepper farm focused on sustainable agriculture, fair wages, and supporting local communities through education and development projects. We wandered past pomelo, pineapple, mango, guava, and durian plants, just to name a few. We saw the giant dryers used in the rainy season or for some of the more delicate drying processes before stepping into the endless rows of pepper plants, the real stars of the show and the reason Kampot pepper is famous worldwide. Our guide shared tons of insight about the plants and the meticulous process behind every harvest. Kampot pepper is world-renowned because of its protected geographical indication status and the region's unique mix of mineral-rich soil, coastal humidity, and intense sun, all of which give the pepper its bold aroma and complex, slightly sweet heat. It's often called the champagne of Cambodia for a reason. The peppercorns are carefully hand-picked at different stages of ripeness, then dried or processed in specific ways to create the different varieties they offer, from green and black to red and white, each with its own distinct flavor profile. After checking out the lemongrass, another one of their crops and one of my personal favorites, we headed inside for a tasting. It felt a little like a wine tasting. We were handed a score sheet to jot down our impressions and started by smelling each of the different peppers before tasting them. A tiny pinch goes a long way. Our standouts were the fresh green peppercorns and the salted variety. Bold, fragrant, and somehow way more complex than you'd ever expect from something you usually just shake over dinner. Well, that was a very interesting tour, at least I thought so.
I did too. I didn't realize there was so much to do with pepper, but there's a lot of different kind of peppers.
Yeah, this is a beautiful plantation, big grounds, and a very well done tour. Highly recommended if you're ever in the area. That night, we followed our hotel's dinner recommendation to a small, unassuming local spot. The kind of place you might walk right past if you didn't know better. And wow, are we glad we didn't. The perfectly cooked barbecue pork came with a rich Kampot pepper dipping sauce, and the green mango salad was perfectly balanced. Best part, it was all incredibly affordable. We wrapped up the night across the street with one of the best carrot cakes we've ever had, which is saying a lot because it's Troy's official dessert of choice. The next day, we rented a scooter. Yes, it came with helmets, proudly sponsored by Cambodia, the local beer. Safety first and branding second, right? We cruised out of town towards Bokor National Park, winding our way up into the hills. The sky stayed mostly overcast, which honestly felt like a gift. Cool air, no blazing sun, and perfect weather for a long, scenic ride on two wheels. We quickly spotted some monkeys, which was thrilling at first. Then we realized they were everywhere, popping up along the route like little furry tour guides. As we climbed higher, the scenery shifted with the elevation from lush lowland forest to misty hilltop vistas, until we literally rode through the clouds. It was like cruising through a dreamscape. Just us, the scooter, and the misty mountains. We drove past a mix of hotels, some shiny and new, others crumbling back into the jungle, and a long row of abandoned shops and residences before reaching our first stop, Wat Samphav Prom. This hilltop temple is steeped in history, with a sacred pagoda and beautiful statues, and has been a place of meditation and spiritual retreat for locals for generations. Normally, the view here stretches out over the mountains and the coastline, but the clouds had other plans, obscuring the panorama. Even so, wandering around the temple and taking in the serene atmosphere made for a fascinating stop. We drove past an old Catholic church, a French colonial-era building that feels almost eerie when the fog rolls in. Not far beyond it sits the abandoned French colonial hotel, one of Bokor's most iconic landmarks. It was originally opened in 1925 as a luxury retreat for the elite. Over the years, it's been left to the elements, but has been as a filming location, most notably in City of Ghosts, starring Matt Dillon. Our next stop was Popokville Waterfall. We wandered through the beautifully kept grounds and followed the shaded path down to the overlook. Since it's the heart of the dry season, the waterfall was more of a gentle trickle than a roaring cascade. Definitely one of those come back in a few months kind of spots. You could still imagine how dramatic it must be in the rainy season. We weren't too disappointed though. We grabbed a cold drink at the cafe, enjoyed the quiet views, and then hopped back on the scooter to continue our adventure. Next stop was the Black Palace. Its dark, weathered exterior gives it that dramatic nickname, but step inside and you'll find surprisingly intricate carved details around the entryways and ceiling. Built in the 1930s as a holiday retreat for King Monivong, it was served as a royal escape from the heat down below. Like much of Bokor, it feels frozen in time. Part royal hideaway, part jungle reclaimed relic. Across the street, we stopped at the giant Buddha statue, with families gathered and music playing at the base. However, with the fog rolling in and out, it felt less like sightseeing and more like a slow game of hide and seek with a very large, very patient Buddha. We made our way back down the mountain, spotting a few more monkeys and then realizing the hillside was basically their neighborhood and we were just passing through. At one point, we rode past a scooter, casually hauling a refrigerator on the back because apparently that's just a normal Tuesday around here. We cruised back into town, a little windswept and very satisfied, wrapping up a fantastic day and an unforgettable time in Kampot.